Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Alrighty. Just waiting to start on the hour. There we are, live from Cabot, Arkansas. This is Answering Your Financial Questions Live, number 113. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. For further financial content from me, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. You scroll down. That's not on the right spot. Home is where it should be. There we go. Scroll down and Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. Music playlist has 10, soon to be 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. The latest one being Dave-cation. Of course, you belong debt free. You belong debt free. And the Ramsey Show After Show show. Now the Ramsey Show After Show show. I'm planning on doing those Tuesdays and Thursdays for the rest of the summer, at least. So that would be this Tuesday the 6th and Thursday the 8th of August. And this show, Answering Your Financial Questions, that is Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get into some questions. Mouse Cop 95. Career advice, option to take advanced equity distribution for private company stock. I don't know if that has anything to do with your career directly. Let's see. Hi all. Hi guys. I apologize in advance for the lengthy post. I have a fairly unique question, a bit torn on what to do. Nothing's fine. I'm torn. I don't even know if this is the right place for this. I was going to post in r/investing, but they don't allow personal situation posts. Interesting. I did not know that. So please, that would be why we don't see any of those in there. I was wondering about that. So please bear with me as I try to explain the situation for the sake of the question. I'm going to use fake easy numbers, but this isn't really a math question and more so an opinion-based career questions. You being able to take advanced equity distribution from private company stock, the advice is to cash that out as soon as possible. I mean, it's free, so you do take it. But as soon as possible, you do cash that out. And then if you use that for your baby steps, or if you're on step 4 and you want to put that in investing, you would invest that cash after that. Let's see. What else is going on here? Oh my goodness gracious. Where is there a too long didn't read on there? I'm really conflicted on what to do. If I decide to stay fully vested today or think that I would 100% leave after. Oh, I see. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. If you are worried about them treating you differently because you cash out instead of keep the stock, and that means you're not a company man anymore, that's up to you. So if you really like the job and you want to stay there and you think that'll be a problem, then you got to consider to not take that out and just keep the company stock. If you think that's a problem, you could also ask and you could explain the situation. You explain, like, if you're on the baby steps, it doesn't say here. Yeah, it doesn't say here if he is on a particular baby step, or if that wouldn't apply. But if you're like, if you have debt, you can say, I have debt, I gotta pay off with it. And I hope you won't think less of me for doing that. So you could talk to them about it. You could just go ahead and try it. I mean, that's up to you. If you think they're going to be petty and, treat you differently, because I would imagine that they cannot fire you unless it's an at will state, and which they can fire you for any reason and you can quit at any time for any reason. Even without notice, you can definitely do that in an at will state. So that is interesting. I mean, it's your life, so you're the one that has to make the decision. But you may just want to talk to them about it, man to man, and tell them your situation and why you want to do that. But the advice is to take that. There's no single stocks in Dave's advice, and so the option is to take any stocks given by the company. You have to sometimes wait until you're vested, and so you got to wait sometimes, but as soon as you can, you cash it out and you transfer that either into baby step 2, baby step 3, or baby step 4, or even paying off the house, whatever you choose to do with it once you cash it out. Altruistic wedding 93. Should I sell my car or pay it off? Currently I have e-cars. Electronic? Or does that mean 3 cars? 2 are paid off and 1 has payments. Our daughter's getting ready to get her driver's license. Will need use of a car. Not really. The car with payments is worth roughly $3,500 more than we owe. We have $10,000 in credit card debt. We're currently paying $2,000 per month to pay it off. We have roughly $37,000 in savings. The car in question is a low mileage dependable car that we owe $20,000 on. So here's what you do, my friend. You take your $37,000 in savings down to $1,000. You gotta love it when the answer is right in the baby step. So you're doing it wrong. You save $1,000 fast as possible, and as long as you have consumer debt, you do not save more than the $1,000. So the $37,000 in saving, while you have credit card debt and car debt, is dumb as crap. Do not do that. You're doing it wrong, and should know that. Should know that. If you're familiar with Dave Ramsey at all, should know that already. Okay, mathematician 966. Trade in my car or keep it. Good afternoon. I'm in a dilemma. Backstory I have a bit of car changing addiction. I always say I'm going to keep a car, but change it. I drive a 23. Maybe we don't need to click on to get the rest of it. I have about 30,000 in equity. I'm trying to get debt free. I have 25,000 left. The car is very reliable. I plan to have it for a long time, but now the thought of paying it off is annoying me after my credit cards are paid off in the next month or so. Great. I can put about an extra 2,000 months toward it, but I'm wondering if with the fear of the economy tanking and potentially being laid off, you can't, you shouldn't change what you're doing based on you watching the news too much. And it's always fear of the economy tanking, what with the way the economy goes and stuff like that. No, you don't do that. You just follow Dave's advice regardless, and that puts you in the best position. So yeah, you can sell that vehicle and you can get a beater while you continue to pay off debt if you have any. If you choose to keep the car, you can just pay it off, and then if you get laid off, then you can sell it in that case. But otherwise, if you're not laid off and you can pay it off in a relatively short time, then you should do that. If you do want to keep it, it's up to you. That new of a vehicle and you having the, oh no, the other person had the, wait a minute, no, he said he had the equity. Where is it? Yeah, 30,000 in equity. on the 2023 4Runner TRD Pro, I'm assuming. And so, yeah, you can get that 30,000 by selling it. And then you can definitely be out of debt a bunch quicker. So it's up to you if you want to pay whatever's left on it. So a $55,000 car, I guess, or maybe more because of any depreciation, but still 30K in equity, and that's a lot more than most people have that are thinking about selling cars to do the baby steps right. That'll be the next song in the music playlist. How to do the baby steps right. I don't want to say anything else about that. Now, at that point, it's up to you. If you are paying off your credit cards in the next month or so, and you don't have any other consumer debt, and you would like to keep it, then you just pay it off as soon as possible. You pay all of your consumer debt off as soon as possible. That would be anything except mortgage debt is consumer debt. Whole lot of mama. Whole latte mama. Canceled disability insurance. My husband changed careers and has been paying $150 a month for disability insurance for the last 20 years, which would cover up to $55K a year if he was physically unable to perform his current profession job. We have young kids and depend on his income as our primary source. Is it likely at midlife that he can get decent coverage for his new desk career as a 40-something? Or should we keep the existing policy since it covers his niche degree field? I'm not sure on that one. Disability insurance, and I mean it could be that, I mean, you can price new ones, new policies, and see what the difference is per month on that. And just for fun, let's just see if you put 150. Where is it? 150 for, it says 20 years, so let's do 47. Just curious. Started with 0 and 150. Whoops. $150 and 10% there. So if you had invested that instead, you'd have 113,000. I mean, that may only pay for 1 year, so that would definitely, that's why you have insurance, and getting your insurances in place is part of baby step 0. And so you definitely need to have that going on, especially you have young kids, depend on his income. Possibly this wife also depends on the income. And so you definitely got to have all your insurances in place for that very reason. No Juggernaut 9397. Follow the 20% on a 15-year rule or get in the game fast and make extra payments. Working on baby step 2, very little debt should be knocked out in a few months. Great. Then we are going to set up a 3-month emergency fund and begin saving for a house. If you're saving for a house, you need a 6-month emergency fund, in my opinion, because houses do need repairs sometimes, and you're going to have to pay for that. Granted, yeah, your insurance may cover some things, but you are the house is a liability. I mean, it's an asset, but it's also a liability as well, as far as it being your property. And if there's something wrong with your property, you're the one that has to fix it. And so that's why I would say definitely have a 6-month emergency fund before you start saving for that down payment. Plan to buy in the next 2 years. You don't plan to buy at a certain time. You buy when you can afford it, when you have the down payment, after you are out of debt and you have your full emergency fund. And it does the 15-year rule. And you stay within Dave's guidelines on that, where the mortgage payment is on a 15-year fixed, and the mortgage payment is approximately 25% of your take-home pay. Let's see, take close to 2 to get the 20% needed to put 20% on 15-year. I dare say recently it might be better to get something on longer terms or less down to get it at the current price rather than save as prices continue climbing. I don't know that he said that. That doesn't sound like a thing Dave says, because he always says you buy when you can afford it, not based on the current market. Mother-in-law is a mortgage loan officer in Huntington and feels this way. Okay, yeah, she feels that way, but I don't know that you heard Dave say that. Because he always says you don't time the market and you definitely don't buy too early either. Now, he has said if you're a first-time home buyer, he has said you can put 10% down, but that would only you would have to pay PMI, private mortgage insurance, for that. And private mortgage insurance is not insurance for you, even though you got to pay for it. That's insurance for the lender if you don't pay that mortgage. She's seeing better rates at 10% down right now. Okay. And so that's fine with Dave if that's your first house, but it would still be a 15-year fixed. Let's make sure. There's nothing else. What the rest of the question? Oh my goodness. We can only use it as first time home buyers, but that feels like a bridge too far for me. Yeah, you don't want to be using special programs and stuff like that, especially if that is going to change the interest rate for the worst, or if it's going to change, take you out of a 15-year fixed as well. Let's see, make 85 to 99 depending on overtime. So let's use 100,000 just for easy math. So that means you can afford a stay-at-home wife with 4 kids. Okay. With 6'4", 26 months. Oh, I see. In 16 months, kids. Okay, I got it. I was saying, what is this? What is the $16 a month payment on? I was confused. 6,000 in debt. Just started the snowball. It's great that it's just that little. Where were we? 100. So that would be a $250,000 mortgage. And so, depending on what size house you buy, or how much it is, rather, you would have to put down enough down where it would take that to around that 250 range for the amount of the mortgage. And so, if you save another 50 if you put 50 down, then you can buy a $300,000 house. Also, do a start 401k and college funds and save for a house with a remainder, or push that stuff off to buy a house. The down payment is 3B, so you would do that basically before, although once you have your full emergency fund, let's pull it up here, you basically are in 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. You can not invest for 2 years if you'd like to save a larger down payment faster, excuse me. So you can do that. So yeah, you can put those up. You won't have a mortgage yet, so you wouldn't be paying it off early. But the kids are young. The 6 is the oldest one, so you still have 12 years on that one. And so, yeah, the problem is the money's not unlimited. So it's difficult to do everything all at the same time that you have to do. Thanks in advance. Looking in the 150 to 2,000 range for a home in Northwest Ohio. Ohio. Excellent. Hashtag Midwest. Look at it, kids. 150 to 200,000 range. It doesn't have to be a freaking $500,000 house, especially when you only make 100,000 or less. You can't afford that. Sorry. You don't get a pass on math because you live on the coast or any other high cost of living area. Oh, should have from Huntington. I should have figured Midwest because that's where those banks are. All right, anything else I want to say about this? Like I said, Dave, it's fine with you doing the 10% for a first-time home buyer. So, but I would again recommend the 6-month emergency fund for anybody going to buy a house, because houses do be costing extra money to fix things. Unparent says, I've just started reading this subreddit. That's this, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and have only recently started to care about financing. Fitty, happily married of 30 plus years, no kids. Okay, make a decent mid 100K plus year salary. Mid 100K plus your salary. Does that mean 150,000? And have done so for 20 plus years. I don't invest in the stock market. I hate dealing with money and will not spend my time watching corporations and hate following money. I'm more of a fire and forget type. Yeah, I'll park some money and come back in 2 years to see how it's doing. Yeah, that's not being intentional with money, and that's not taking care of your retirement. I truly hate corporations, bank, investing in everything related to money. Do you also hate retiring as well? I pay all monthly expenses on a credit card that has good cash back. We don't do that either. So you're doing it wrong. And is paid off in full every month. Everybody says they're going to pay it off in full every month until they don't. 3 cars, all paid in cash. That's great. High yield savings account, monthly interest payout is basically the same as my mortgage. So I think of it as free housing. Okay. But if it's only making the same as the mortgage, if the interest is canceling each other out that way, you're still not making enough for retirement. My parents have started to liquidate some assets. So every Christmas for the past 15 years, I get 25 to 30,000 check. It goes directly into savings, except for about 1K or so for a high-end New Year's Eve dinner and hotel. Okay, put 3 to 5K a month in high yield savings account, so it's growing and it'll spend in it. Any of it. Not investing in the market is making you leave a lot of money on the table for retirement. Oh, it does have a 401k, is around 60K, 600K, excuse me. So the 600K, if today was retirement day, that would generate 60K a year, assuming that it is in investments that are making the average of the S&P 500 per year, which is 10%. 3% match, but I contribute 14% of my salary. Okay. That's close to Dave. Dave says 15%. Regardless of match, so it would be the 15 that you should put in, and then plus the match is gravy on the biscuit, meaning just extra, a bonus. And it's growing at a reasonable rate. It should be growing at 10% at minimum. Managed funds can make more than the index, which is why you don't settle for the index. Leaving money on the table there, but you're leaving a lot more money on the table by just doing a high yield savings account. I'm almost positive I could do more. Absolutely you could, but I don't want to hire a financial planner or jump into stocks that I'll have to pay attention to. No single stocks. Manage mutual funds for retirement. I'm considering buying another property with all cash or mostly cash and renting it out for passive income. Landlording is not passive income. In order for it to be passive income for you, you would have to hire a management company to manage it for you, and that can take half or more even of your profit from that. And all it takes is a roof, and that wipes out your profit, for years sometimes if you need a new roof. So I basically want my money to breathe behind my back while I'm not looking. It can't happen. not the way you want it to. What are some good suggestions to do that require the least amount of work and fiddling? Thanks, and I apologize if this is not the correct form for this. It's a fine form for it, but again, you can't do it. You can't do it. You still have the mortgage that you're having to pay off. It depends on when you wanna retire. So what is that? 600K and 15%. What is that? 50 and what are we gonna do? 67 on retirement. I mean, that could be fine. Again, it's assuming. And let's see, pull out the old calculator here. All right, let's see. So she said mid 100,000 plus, so I will take that to mean 150,000. And if she's putting in 0.14, so that's 21,000. So divided by 21,000 divided by 12 equals 1750 a month. So she might be fine just by doing the 401k and not doing any other retirement investing. But the way she was making it sound is that she wasn't doing a 401k either. So let's see. So yeah, so by the time she gets to 67, that's gonna generate $400,000 a year. So shouldn't be any problem. Should be fine. So worried about nothing. The problem is if she did mention fire and forget, so I don't know if that's retire early or not. Let's just see what it would be for 10 years. And of course, the orange is the $1 million a year. So this is going to be 150,000 or so. Again, if her 401k is making at least 10% average per year. So that would be 150, and that would replace her income. So even if the house wasn't paid off by then, theoretically would be fine. So and doing the 15, I mean, that's all you should be doing anyway until the house is paid off. So put more on the house than in investing. I know you have it, this person has it to where where was it? Right here, has it to where, oh, where's the mortgage? Come on. Where does it say? The interest on the high yield saving interest basically equals the amount of interest that she's paying on the mortgage now. But instead of trying to put more money in the high yield savings account to make that interest go up, you should put it on the house to make that interest go down, and you want that eventually get to zero, and that means no payment, and then you will be even better off in retirement. All right, so good. Excellent. So yeah, I mean, should be fine. C guy 95. Maybe step 2 complete. I paid off my car last year, canceled my credit card a few months ago, and just paid off my student loans today. Had to swallow my pride and move back in with my family to do so, but it's done. Not recommended for adults by Mr. Ramsey. I'm in the process of trying to find a better job and hopefully be in a position to buy a house on the next 3-4 years. I thought my student loans would haunt me the rest of my life. And like a ghost, they haunt me. I didn't have an absurd amount, but it was always just so discouraging to see that total. It's the best feeling ever to not owe anybody any money. All right. And don't buy a house too early. You don't want to do that. You're done with the debt now. Make sure you have the full emergency fund, and then you save up your down payment. So you can't, just because you paid off your debt doesn't mean you can, especially with you living with your family at the moment. So there's a lot of expenses that you don't have that you will have again as soon as you buy a house. Okay, commission 3393, vehicle failing, beginning of my baby step 3, my motor scooter is giving me problems. It's not starting. I'll probably be able to find someone to fix it, but I need a more reliable motorcycle. Problem is, I don't have enough money to buy one cash right now, and I'll probably need like around 5 months to get all that money, and then like 6 to 8 months if life doesn't happen to build up my emergency fund completely. So then I start saving for a vehicle replacement. Highly considering financing a maxi scooter. That's a no from Dave, dog. I can't see myself in Gazelle intensity that long. I'm feeling hopeless, and my vision is, yeah, you don't get to do whatever you want to do. You don't get to always go into debt and so forth. You can, of course, choose to do that, but that is dumb as all get out. Crazy. Feeling hopeless. My vision is blurred. Can't see my options around this. Please help. You get someone, you quit feeling sorry for yourself, and you get your current motor scooter fixed. It's not starting. It could be something very simple why it's not starting. Okay, but not, I need a more reliable motorcycle, so I'm going to finance one. No, do not do that. Dumb. Doesn't have any debt, so I'm working on baby step 3. So finish the baby step 3 first, and then you can save up to replace the motor scooter, but get that one fixed. You're, Eeyore over here, oh, woe is me. Oh, if life doesn't happen, you don't let life happen to you. A lot of times this life that happens is dumb stuff you don't need to spend money on. So definitely fix your motor scooter, and if you need one, you will have to work that out, but you buy a cheap one, not financing. No maxi scooter. No. That would be you doing it wrong. Motion GFX 515, just start. I've been a long time lurker of this sub and many other financial subs. What I see time and time again are people saying things like debt snowball or debt avalanche. That's where, instead of doing it Dave's way, which is pay off debts from smallest to largest, that is the debt snowball method, because basically it gets faster, meaning the snowball gets bigger, meaning more money as it goes downhill, as you knock out smaller debts faster. Now, the debt avalanche, you're paying the highest interest rate off first, and the problem with that is those are often high dollar amounts, and so it can take you a long time to get through the first one. And the average human is going to quit doing the baby steps because of that reason. And so that's why the debt snowball is like it is. All of the baby steps are like it is for a reason. It's not just, well, Dave wanted it that way. No, they all have exact reasons why it's done like this. Let's see. Should I pay off my car or keep my savings? Yeah. Dave Ramsey stinks on and on. Yeah, I don't know. Some people just want to complain. Some people don't like it for some reason. And instead of just going somewhere that has advice that they like, and where people agree with them, rather than that, they want to complain about it. People come in the Ramsey Show YouTube chat as well. Same thing. Probably the same people doing that over and criticizing Dave, yep, over and over until you build the fact. Or you can start making an intentional effort to remove debt from your life. That's right. If you don't start, you will always do what you've done, right? Are some methods better than others? Sure, but what I can't, let's see what the rest of it is. Curious now. But what I can tell you from my own experience is that no matter the method used to pay off debt, paying it off is so worth it. It is an incredible feeling to see your debt shrinking. Right. And I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, even if it's not Dave's advice, and you don't have to run it by the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and you don't have to compare it to Dave's advice. You can just do it. It's your life and your money, so you can do it. Let's see. What I'm saying is that if you're waiting until all your ducks are in perfect row to start making these life changes, yeah. So if any of your thing, the way you're doing it, it doesn't mean that you are starting right now to get that $1,000 emergency fund and then start paying on debt. If you aren't starting that today, you're doing it wrong. Whether or not you follow Dave's advice, someone else's makes the first step towards becoming debt-free. Do what works with best for you, and that's fine. I support everybody's ability to do exactly what they want to do. That's fine, but again, why come in here? Why go in the Dave Ramsey YouTube channel and complain about Dave's way? You can just do it your way and prove him wrong. How about that? You can do that. And you don't need to tell the whole world. You can just prove it to yourself. Which usually you're not going to do that, though. His way is proven. 30 years experience. Millions of documented success stories. And your way doesn't have anywhere near. No other financial advisor at all has anywhere near Dave's track record on it. So person continues saying, don't make the same mistake I did and assume that paying the minimums will eventually take care of it. No, the paying the minimums makes the lender or credit card company the most amount of money possible, and that is exactly what they want you to do. Treat yourself well, thank you. Best of luck, everyone. All right, fun. Yeah, I don't get it either, but that's, the way it is. People are going to do that. It's logical to accept reality, and that is the reality that haters going to hate. You just got to shake it off, like T-Swizzle says to do. Significant log 1025. All right. Career assessment. Again, had one of these yesterday. Execution, justice, logic. Logic is approved. Passion in research, analysis, and solving to accomplish my mission of achieving by producing wins and recognition. That one might be rough because you don't necessarily get the wins and recognition in all jobs. But execution, justice, and logic. I mean, justice is going to be, could be like a cop, something in lawyer, could be like anything, could be social work, anything like that. Research, analysis, and solving, though, it seems like you would be looking more at computer stuff, information technology. IT, as it were. But yeah, I don't know specifically what jobs might fit. I bet if you put this in Google and ask, I bet Google would be able to come up with something. So instead of asking you, I don't know, people do answer, I guess. This has one answer from 2 days ago. 16 semesters, the $1,000 starter emergency fund isn't designed to pay off emergencies. It's designed to get you in the habit of budgeting and saving. Yes. I see a lot of people on Reddit and elsewhere complaining that Dave Ramsey's recommendation of 1K starter e-fund is no longer applicable and you should have a larger starter e-fund. I always took it that the 1K wasn't meant to be a panacea for emergencies. Props on the vocab there. 1K, even back 2 years, wouldn't replace a roof or other major repairs. That's true. And Dave says $1,000 wasn't enough 30 years ago either. But that's the advice. So you get off of your butt and pay off your debt as fast as possible, so then you can have more in savings. That is the idea. This 16 semesters may be the same person as the Just Start person. We don't know, but props to them. Wendy's Nuggets. I get the frozen ones. Score Specialist 4622. I've run low on 529 funds for daughter's college. Instead of cash flowing from my checking, should I be moving that money into the 529 and then paying the expenses directly from 529 so they are tax deferred? You can, if it's worth the trouble to you to save the taxes on that. You absolutely can. Relative Egg 682. Side hustle ideas. Hey all, hi guys. This may or may not be the place for this. If not, point me in the right direction. Single dad with 10-year-old. I need side hustle ideas. That I allows me to bring my kid along. It seems Uber and Lyft don't allow that. Yeah, for clarity, I have no help with him and paying for childcare. Isn't in the budget right now. Also, I received no child support from his mom. Probably something that you would do at the house or apartment, whatever your situation is. That would be probably best for you in this situation and the child, instead of having to go to like an office or even in the Uber and the Lyft, because that isn't that great, I would imagine, unless you're the one doing it and making money, and still it's probably not great in that case either. But you do that kind of stuff to be able to pay off your debt and get through the baby steps faster. So probably I would look for something you can do at home. Perhaps something on the computer. Upstate New York Dude 2. I believe I've seen that name before on here. Lump sum gift. What would Dave do? We're about to receive a lump sum of about $50,000 as a gift. Currently we're in steps baby steps 4 through 6. Only debt, a little over $90K mortgage on a house worth around $270. 5 to 300K. Retirement account has about $60K in it. We plan to put 100% of it on the mortgage. What would Dave do? Doesn't say what your age is. I would be tempted to put it into investing instead, especially if you started out, if you started investing late, depending on how your what your age is, and only having $60,000. So I mean, you can also split it up between, if 5 applies to you, kid college, if that applies as well, you could split it up between the 3 in any manner you see fit. So I mean, there's not really a wrong answer, but again, I would probably get the retirement up some if you're old. Now, if you're 30 years old or less, then that would be fine to get rid of the mortgage first. And if you're putting in 15% of gross income into retirement already. So assuming you're doing that, if you're not doing that, at least put enough in to get it to 15% for this year. And maybe even save enough to put in for 15% on January 1st for next year as well, if you aren't maxing it out with your 15% of your gross income. If that doesn't max out the type of account it is, Roth IRA or 401k, then in that case, I would do that. But otherwise, I mean, that's putting on the mortgage, and that's fine, because as soon as you get rid of the mortgage, which you are almost done, with the 50, so you would have 40,000 left on that, and so then that gets rid of that mortgage payment, and then you can save for kid college and invest out of that mortgage payment as well, which you wouldn't have to pay any longer. Longer than, what is it? There are fish in the ocean. Eyes like Emerald City, all right. I'm assuming green. Financial suggestions for a friend. Is it really a friend? Or is it you, green eyes? Hello all, looking for suggestions for a longtime friend slash neighbor. He's 66, still working, has no debt, has no savings or retirement income other than Soch. So he plans on working until he can't work anymore. Yep. Dying at work is a noble thing to do. If you are dumb with money for a long time, such as myself, does not own a house. However, something with a relative passing granted him $80,000. Okay. Understand the baby steps for someone my age, but what would anyone suggest for someone in this situation? I would assume having 3 to 6 months of available funds handy in a high yield savings account is a start. Yep. Said no debt. What can I suggest to get him started? Yeah, I mean, basically, it's the baby steps. You do want to have that. You don't have any debt, so that's cool. You do want to have that 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And being 66 and theoretically being very close to retirement age, although maybe already getting Social Security. Don't know if already getting Social Security or not, since still working. Don't know. But yeah, you would do the baby steps. So, and maybe not buy a house, but you would definitely want to invest into retirement. Granted, maybe a target date fund, maybe something conservative. This is where you would do it in conservative. If you have 10 years or more in the market, you don't do a target date then. I mean, that's stupid. They're giving 20-year-olds freaking target date funds. They're leaving so much money on the table by being conservative. Let's see. What can I suggest to help him? Oh, no, didn't open it. There we go. See what the rest of it is. Set him up for in the future so if something happens and he can't work anymore, he can try to live as comfortably as possible. That's where your retirement savings would come in. He's single, has adult children on the other side of the country that I don't think he's close with, so wouldn't factor them in the equation. All right. Prefer helpful comments only. Well, wouldn't we all? But that is not how the internet works, green eyes. I know as well as everyone else he didn't plan for his future, right? But like to be as positive. Right, because you can only work on it as it is now. It's important to realize that, oh, not addressing this my whole life was a mistake. But you can't go back in time. No DeLoreans yet. So once there's time travel, then all this goes out the window. And everything will probably explode anyway in a vortex because of people messing with time. I know as well as let's see, okay, I know myself and no one here is a financial advisor, but at least like to help him. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. He tried talking with someone about a CD, but the clerk was in her 20s and not helpful or willing to tailor things to suit him. Yeah, it wouldn't be a CD. It'd be just a high yield savings account for emergency fund, and for that you do have to have immediate access to it. So if you can't find a high yield savings account that has immediate access to it, either debit card or check writing privileges or both on it, then maybe you do a CD. I mean, not with emergency fund, because that is a penalty if you have to take that out, and you need to do that. But like any other savings, but I would still, depending on how long he plans working, if he plans on working like well into 70s, then invest in retirement for sure. I mean, that's That's all you can do. You can definitely you can look over the budget as well. Make sure he's not doing because he doesn't have the leeway. He didn't have the buffer room to be spending all kinds of money on different stuff. And maybe he's not, but you would have to take a look at that, or he would. But you can recommend that he checks on that and make sure that this is the situation. You can also run out like what expenses will be because likely renting the rest of his life, and so you will have to factor that in. Holiday birthday 5869 house in the middle of the street. Our house. Hey guy, hi guys. I like Dave. Think he's the way to go in the modern world. We are living in a material world. In a modern world too. But the house stuff is tough, man. I like Dave. I think he's the way to go in the modern world. But man, I wanna pass on this house of advice. Because I want to get a house now. Quit whining. Even if it is true. It's true. Well, if you're going to admit that it's true, then what's the problem? If I'm to be a mechanic, which I'd like to be, and eventually make Most a mechanic, hopefully in 5 years, okay, I'll be barely able to afford a $77,000 house, which in most places puts you smack dab in the ghetto. I don't want to live there, raise a family there. I'm Catholic Christian and really care about bringing up kids right. 22 man and unmarried, but thinking about the future. Yeah, you don't buy a house now for when you get married and have kids. Because you're going to have to change anything anyway to make it suitable for spouse, probably. So yeah, so you don't do that. You don't buy a house now for later. And also, if you can't afford it, you don't buy it, regardless. So you're doing it wrong. I'll let you know what I think. Baby steps in order, especially if you have debt. I mean, hopefully, since you like Dave and you think he's the way to go in the modern world, then hopefully we can assume you're on baby step 3 then, right? Depends on how long he decided that Dave is the way to go in the modern world. So assuming still on baby step 3 right now is when you can start doing that, saving for a down payment. And guess what? Maybe you stay out of restaurants and stuff. And you can also have a side hustle while you are trying to be a mechanic. All at the same time. Cut expenses, work more, sell stuff you're not using regularly. And that's how you do it. So there's no, just because 77,000, and that puts you smack dab in the middle. That's most places. If you live in a high cost of living area, you can't expect for there to be any pass for someone that doesn't make high cost of living money. So you can try moving as well. They need mechanics everywhere, so try moving. Check different neighborhoods, not just where you think, is the perfect place to be, because that may not be in the cards for you. And so you have to accept the reality of your financial situation. And if you follow the baby steps, follow all of Dave's advice, including housing, that will put you in the best possible spot. Caller Gator 53, high interest online bank. My mom is an avid listener. Dave, she recently told me I should make an Ally bank account because, well, you don't make it, you open one, because it has a high interest rate, approximately 5%. Started the process but never completed. Then a couple of weeks ago, she said there was another online bank with a 7 interest rate. She set that one up instead, but I can't remember the name of it. Does anyone know this bank? Most likely one Dave has mentioned. Nope. I don't know about a 7% one. I don't recall him mentioning one. George, I think, has said something about Laurel Road. Laurel Road Bank. High yield savings, 5.15 for that. That's not 7. So as you can see, George Camel from Ramsey Solutions recommended. As you can see right there. So generally 5 something is about the best you can do. The one that has 7, that may require $100,000 or more in that. You do have to read the fine print. If it's your emergency fund, you do have to have, again, immediate access to it because emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer from your high interest online bank account. Quick Rick 21 decision. Hey guys, I'm coming here to get some help on a decision. I'm split on. I have $3K for emergencies. You're doing it wrong. And about $3K cash at home. You're doing it wrong. I have a $272 car payment that I'm potentially looking to get rid of. Would it be a good or bad idea to use that $6K to get a fully paid off car, then save that money back up? Yes, you should save $1,000 for emergency, but then that gives you $5,000. So yeah, you can do that. Or should I leave the $3K emergency money in the bank and save up another $3K to get the car? No, I really don't make enough to say it. Just save up another $3K quickly with this car payment. Right. Well, you'd be selling the car, right? To get rid of that, you'd be selling the car. So if you buy one, you buy the cheapest one you can. Doesn't have to be $5,000, but you keep the emergency fund. See, anything that you want to do, you apply to the baby steps, not the other way around. You don't apply the baby steps to your little stuff that you're trying to do. You take your little stuff that you're trying to do and you fit them in with the baby steps. And so baby step 1, save $1,000. It doesn't say save 2 extra K for emergencies in the bank and then save 3K more at home. It doesn't say that. It says pay off all debts. Smallest to largest is step 2 there. And so that would be the idea. That would also depend on how much you owe on the car. Now, if you would put the $5,000 on that car, and that would bring that down, and then you could pay that off faster and have that instead of buying a new one and then selling that one and to get rid of it. All the numbers all depend on that. Asperger's are us 87 frequent poster here on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Went through all Dave Ramsey steps and still don't feel happy with life and funds. Am I doing it wrong? You're doing it wrong, yeah, because that should make you feel happy with life and funds. If you've done all the steps and you're on step 7 and you don't feel happy with life and funds, then there's something else missing in your life and it may not have anything to do with money. 36 years old, was able to pay a house off years ago. At 31 years old, that was my main objective. Didn't even know Ramsey back then. Today, I'm maxing out 457B pre-tax, maxing out Roth IRA, and have a pension at the company that the company takes 10%. I keep contributing majority of my paycheck right now to my emergency funds. I had savings account since I'm pessimistic and believe something bad is going to happen in the near future. Right, at first it was 3 to 6 months. It should only be 6 months. And then you can do more in retirement. You can do more investing. But it should only be 6 months, even after you're done with all, if you're on step 7 though, apparently, on step 7 you can do what you, or do you still have the mortgage? No, it says baby step 6 here. I was able to pay a house off years ago. Let's see if there's a rental or something like that he thinks is baby step 6. It's not. Depending on taking some of that and putting it into a taxable brokerage account. Yeah, but I'm a little worried about taxes since it's taxed on dividends either way. I'm still not happy with money and I feel like I'll never have enough. Anyone would feel the same. Okay, so feeling like it's never going to be enough, you just have to reconcile yourself with that. If it's that big of a problem, maybe you need to speak to a counselor about it, about the way you think about life and such. And you can also factor in that you are probably better off than 90% of people the way you are right now, even without saving any more. So, you know, like I said, it could be just a mental thing there. You could be overly, we're a little worried about taxes, pessimistic, and I believe something bad is going to happen in the near future. All that could be tied in together. And if being better off than 90% of people doesn't make you feel better, then, like I said, probably counseling would be my guess. Should I pause paying debt if I'm moving in 2 months? Okay. To not read it first and just answer, that would be yes if you need to save to move, because you got to have money to move. If you already have the money to move and you have plenty of money to move, and, you know, and related to moving expenses, then you would start paying on debt again. My husband is in the interview phase for a job that he really wants, but require a big move. We don't know if he is going to get it, but have been acting like he is. Okay, we would probably move early October. Hey, I'm going to do that too, because that's when our rental lease is up. Hey, mine is too. I have 2.5K left on my car that I was planning to pay off this month. In addition to 60K in student loans, I have 3.5K emergency fund, and I'm ahead of on my budget. I have enough to cover this month's expenses and some of next month's. What would Dave tell me to do? He would tell you to do the baby steps, which is not a 3.5K emergency fund. It's just $1,000. So, hey, guess what? You can take the 2.5K out of the emergency fund and have your $1,000, but then also pay off that 2.5 on the car today, not in the next month, today. And so baby step 2 flare right there. And what would Dave tell me to do? Follow the baby steps. There's not going to be a time where you don't follow the baby steps. Even in an emergency, you're pausing them. Like even if you had to pause them to move, you would pause it and then move. So you do have to have the money to move. But I would wait to do something as far as saving up for moving money until you know if he's going to get the job or not. Otherwise, you keep doing the baby steps full steam ahead. Something changes, then you adjust, then you pause baby steps. And if you don't have the money to move, need to save it up, then you would save that up instead of paying extra on the debt. Still have to pay minimums, of course. Should I pay off one or both of our car loans? You do have to pay them off. Yes, pay them off, both of them. Baby step 2 says pay off all debts from smallest to largest using the debt snowball method. All debts except, of course, mortgage, so consumer debts, and cars are. So yes, let me just start by saying I love cars. Wish I didn't, but my dad is a big car guy and I inherited that trait. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean you can buy whatever cars you want. That's dumb to do that. Unless you can pay for them in cash and you fit into the situation where it's not. I mean, if you're in baby step 7, you can do whatever you want. You can probably even, I haven't heard Dave say it, but I would imagine you can probably even have over 50% of your income in that, as long as you're in baby step 7 and you're investing like you should be, and you've addressed kid college. Well, you should be. If you're in step 7, you will have been doing that already. And so, let's see. You want to divert those funds after years of car payments. I'm tired. Yeah. So, yep, you pay them off. Yeah, you don't do anything on loans. Baby step 0, part of baby step 0. Many components to that. I keep threatening to make a video on the missing baby steps. I will. Many components to that. And one of them is where you decide you're not doing loans anymore, except for a house that you live in, and you pay off the ones that you got. Tired of it and wanted, let's see, other things like more frequent and nicer vacations for my family, improve my house, which we started to do. We do fairly well financially, even after our monthly expenses. Still have money left over, but I want to increase that amount. The amount what? Buy more money. Oh, and not have the car payment. I see. I was fortunate enough to receive an inheritance from family members. It's pretty detailed, but lay out the finances for you. All right, let's take a look. Why not? Car loans, $82,000. High yield savings account, 158K. Pay the car loan off today. Hey, guess what? I wonder if this is the same guy that called Dave. Check this out.
Write a check today and pay off the credit card and cut it up.
Even though it's 2.9
Today,
million, huh?
you're not going to borrow money on a credit card to build wealth. Today, stop this. Stop playing with this dadgum debt. It's not been your friend. It's still not your friend. The faster you get rid of the debt, the faster you build wealth.
That's right. And in this case, I forgot that was credit card debt, and this is car debt. Paid $36K loan with $752 a month. So you do that immediately today out of the high yield savings account. What the heck are you thinking? Say you want to get rid of them. You do that again, like Dave says, today. I mean, maybe you can do that online over the weekend. I don't know. Otherwise, you wait till tomorrow and get that done. Paying on both would free up almost $1,600 a month. That is crazy on car loans. That is so stupid. I don't care if you're a car guy or not. For the larger loan, I'm above water by $10K. I thought about selling that car, using $10K and paying the rest in cash from the high yield savings account. For your information, I do contribute 10% of my income and 5% employer match 401k, which equates to about $1,300 a month. So I am saving for retirement still. Okay, of course, should have known. You're doing that wrong too. It's 15% of your skin in the game. Granted, it doesn't say that there. So I'll give you a break on that one. 15% of your income, 15% of your skin in the game. The 5% employer match is gravy on the biscuit only. Of course, I love my car and wouldn't be as happy. Wham! But Dave doesn't want to hear that crap. You are right about that. Neither do I. I saved about $20K if I did this versus just paying off that loan. Long story short, so they sacrifice some investment funds and pay one or it's not invest. Are you considering the high yield savings account investment? I mean, it is kind of, I guess. And pay one or both loans off to both. It's baby step 2. So you know enough to know that Dave doesn't want to hear that crap. You don't know what baby step 2 is? Dumb. People are dumb, man. Well, I love cars, so that makes my little situation different. How much more? Oh, we'll go ahead and finish them. Caught up already. Out of questions. That's all right. I had some Facebook questions ready to go, just in case I needed them. Let's see. Hi, Dave, or anybody from Ramsey Solutions. You're not going to get anybody from Ramsey Solutions on here. Not run by Ramsey Solutions. It's run by fans. The Facebook group, which I got those questions from, just in case, and you'll probably hear those questions on the Ramsey Show After Show on Tuesday. What is that? August 6th. Approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show video on YouTube ends. Please allow us to filter shows on the Ramsey app by host. It would be very helpful. Interesting. Thanks. Interesting. I mean, they could add that in there. They may not want to, though. You could also, well, yeah, because they don't put that, that's not in the title or anything. So, yeah, see, they would have to first start distinguishing the videos from each other first. They would have to start putting in the host names somewhere that it could be searched to make that happen. So that's more than just reprogramming the app to look for it. Maple syrup. What would Dave do? Dave would do the baby steps. Let's see. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. Unique situation. Everybody is. They think they are. Where I'm making a ton of money every month. However, it is temporary. Don't know how long. I will continue making that. Once it stops, I will have to find a new job, and it certainly won't pay as much as I'm currently making. Okay, then you can work 2 jobs, and maybe that'll make close to that. 30K in high yield savings. My only debt is 10K on a home upgrade and 28K on a vehicle. Take the 30K out of there, and you pay off on debt. You pay the rest of it off. That won't cover. So you'll have what, 12,000 more. No, 8,000. 38. Yeah, 8,000. You'll have 8,000 more after you do that. Now that assumes that you have $1,000 emergency fund. If not, 29, and so then you'd owe 9 on the debts. Both are at about a 6% interest rate. I also own 2 homes, 1 rental and 1 primary. Sometimes I wonder if I should aggressively pay off the debt or keep adding to my savings. I want to be in the best position possible for when this cash flow stops. Okay, so not worth opening it up there. All right, so the thing you do to put you in the best possible position for not making as much money, for retiring, for just living day to day, is by doing the baby steps and getting them done as quickly as possible. And that means you're not debt leveraging by having money in savings while you owe money on dumb stuff like the home upgrade before you finish paying off the home, and while you have 2 homes, 1 rental and the primary. So you could fix this today probably by selling that rental, and that could pay off all your debt. And then guess what? You don't have any debt except for your residential mortgage, the mortgage on the house that you are living in. It doesn't say if the mortgage is on the house. Doesn't say that. It does say only debt is 10K on a home upgrade and 28K on a vehicle. So assuming both of those are paid off, then you're not paying mortgage. So what's the problem? Why do you need to be making the ton of money that you're making right now if you don't have a mortgage payment? So, and if you do have mortgage payments, then you're doing it wrong. Sell the rental and fix your life, and then once you get your life settled and you're in the new job after the temporary job is over, then you can address what to do about a house, or like to buy if you want to buy a rental at that point, then you save up all cash and buy that. So, and that's what Dave would do. Again, Dave would do the freaking baby steps. Thoughts on SoFi Bank? I know Dave hates on them, but they have 4.6% high yield savings. So does every online bank, has about 5% right now. What would Dave do? Flare, he wouldn't do SoFi probably. But you can find anyone you want. So it doesn't matter, but they have 4.6. You can get 5. Again, don't put your emergency fund in a high yield savings account that you do not have immediate access to. Let's go ahead and see if there's any new ones since I started. Oh, completely. Charge for the app. We'll completely go through them. Completely. We'll have a make you the slate clean. All of the questions will be done. There's only 1,000 at a time in, I guess, any subreddit. Definitely in this one, just 1,000 posts at a time. And so I have answered every single one of them. Gosh, didn't mean to snort right there. Apart Astronomer 221. Charge for app. I've seen everywhere this app is either free or there's a free trial just to try to install. Looks like I got charged $17. Is this a holder charge? Why does he claim it's free on his Instagram? It is unless you want bank access to it. And so if you put in, okay, so here's how life works, kids. Here's how life works. If you're online, on your phone, doing stuff, woo, 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 if you put in your freaking debit card number, expect to be charged for something. Quit being dumb. Stop being dumb. Now, there is supposed to be a free version, but if you said, yes, I want bank connectivity, that's only available in the paid version. And so I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you about that. There is a free version, as far as I know. It's still free, but you don't get bank access for free, where it automatically connects to your bank and automatically pulls over all of the transactions. So quit being dumb, people. Alrighty. Once again, youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Whoops. Restart the plugs. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, Coach Steve Money, and you can schedule free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively to Cash App, $Coach Steve Money. And alternatively, again, Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams. The show is called Answering Your Financial Questions Live, and that is on Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also upcoming, we have Tuesdays and Thursdays for the rest of the summer. Ramsey Show After Show. And that's approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Time, like 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show video on YouTube ends. Again, youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Scroll down for further financial content, and you can see the playlist for those two streams, and also the music playlist, which has 10, soon to be 11, Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And of course, let's see. What's the best thing to invest in right now? Why am I typing it in? I could just say it. So, as far as investing, if you have any kind of debt other than a residential mortgage, a house that you live in, you have a mortgage on that. If you have any other kind of debt, you need to pay that off first. $1,000 emergency fund, follow the baby steps. $1,000 emergency fund. Step 2 is pay off all non-mortgage debt using Debt Snowball, that is smallest to largest. And step 3 is full emergency fund. That's 3 to 6 months of your personal expenses. And only after all 3 of those are done, one at a time in order, without doing any other one, you don't add to that $1,000 while you're paying off debt. And and then after you pay off debt, then that's when you add to that $1,000 in step 3 by doing the full emergency fund. Only after that are you in step 4, and that's when you are investing. If it's retirement investing, Dave advises manage mutual funds for that because they can make more than the index even after you take out the higher expense ratio. All right, that person, I didn't look at the chat long enough because I didn't see enough people watching. I'm so sorry. Sorry about missed that. I'm gonna as soon as possible, I'll try to do it before I leave here, but definitely after I leave here and move in October, I will be setting it up so that I only have to look this far to see the chat instead of this far to see the chat. Just because of the way it's set up right now. So I'll see what I can do about that. Alrighty. So yeah, but no single stocks, no crypto, no metals, no commodities, no real estate that you aren't buying 100% in cash. Just manage mutual funds for retirement. And if you are done paying off your house and you want to invest more than the 15% into retirement, if you just want to do other investing, then at that point, that's when you can. But that's only when you're on baby step 7. Alrighty. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And of course, make smart financial decisions every day.